Up next, it's starting to look like Americans are starting to realize the real reason Democrats are shutting down the government. Money for illegal migrants. Check it out.
I've been trying to find a way to say this politely. I don't really care if I upset anybody, but I kind of do. So I work across the hall from the Department of Human Services in a small town in Texas. And since 21, that place has been a revolving door. There were days that they would have people lined up outside waiting for services. If you don't know what their services are, that's the food stamps and the free healthcare. So that leads me to talk about the government shutdown. And I understand we're going without a paycheck. I get it. And I don't want my coworkers to get super mad at me for saying this, but I'm pretty sure they are. And the liberals are going to come at me in the comments, because I'm blonde, I'm pretty, and I'm white. So go just Timu Barbie, whatever y'all always like to call me. Anyway, so I saw it firsthand that those services are being abused, and it's not by Americans. It's by illegals, and it's by males. It's one thing when you have a family that is a legal U.S. citizen, taxpayer, that needs help with food, housing, medical insurance. That is not an issue. That I'm 110% okay with that. Help people. But I have a huge problem with an able-bodied male from another country coming over here and basically just mooching off the system.
Yep.
Because that's what they're doing. They're not contributing to society. They're not doing anything. So that, it really is, it's an issue that needs to be addressed. And if people would really step back and look at this situation, you would understand that that's not sustainable. That's not something that we can keep doing.
Agreed.
So if we have to go without a paycheck to fix this broken system, then so be it.
Yeah, the days for the liberal party to be able to use emotional blackmail or brainwash people into voting outside of their own interests so that the liberal party can stay in power by trying to create a new voting demographic, that's over with. A lot of people are understanding that if America falls, we fall. So we all have a common interest to at least protect the country. Now, everything else, what happens within inside of the country, that's a different story, a different topic for a different day. But as far as the security of America, we all, as Americans, have that common interest.
Democrats in the Senate voted to keep the government closed for the remainder of the weekend, and the question is, are there actually illegal aliens receiving Medicaid? That whole thing is the impetus of our shutdown. And whether you like this or not, it's an undisputed fact that under the Biden administration, there were undocumented immigrants receiving taxpayer-funded healthcare. Here are the facts. Last year, Medicaid costs for emergency services for illegal aliens skyrocketed 142%, totaling $9.1 billion. From 2020 to 2024, Medicaid spending for emergency services for illegals tripled under Joe Biden, up 196%. In 2023, under the Biden administration, South California's, and I quote, entire healthcare system was being bombarded by illegal aliens, enforcing American citizens to endure longer wait times. In Denver, Colorado, the CEO of Denver Health stated that 8,000 illegal immigrants made 20,000 visits to the city's health center in 2023. That all left an uncompensated bill totaling over $10 million. The Congressional Budget Office estimates that there are about 1.2 million illegal immigrants receiving Medicaid. Those are just a few examples. So that's why in the one big beautiful bill that was passed a few months ago, the Trump administration and Republicans made sure that those who are not American citizens were not receiving free taxpayer-funded health. Democrats want to add all that money back and give people who did not deserve free healthcare. If somebody says to you, there are no illegal aliens receiving Medicaid, you show them this.
What the American people have to understand is that the Democratic Party has no problem lying directly to your face because they're on their last leg when it comes to, trying to grab power or maintain some type of power. A lot of their agendas have gone too far left, and people are waking up and they're like, wait a minute. I didn't sign up for illegal immigrants receiving health care at our dime. I didn't sign up for the borders not being protected or being guarded and just allowing anyone to come into the country. I didn't sign up for these things, so it's time to make a U-turn.
It's not a conspiracy. I'm losing brain cells trying to fucking explain this to people. They are getting health care. This is where people are getting confused. There's states out there, 14 of them, that have passed state laws. California is the big one that gives illegal aliens health care. Full, not just ER services. Newsom uses provider taxes, and he taxes the fuck out of all of these hospitals, doctors, all this shit. He reimburses them and taxes them to the fucking highest degree. Creates higher Medicaid and Medi-Cal payments. Then the feds come in, they match at 90% under the ACA expansion, and they give California billions of dollars. Newsom literally uses this federal influx to free up California's budget for Medi-Cal's huge ass tab of non-emergency care for 1.8 million illegals so he can solely rely on our fucking state taxes. Bro, I'm fucking done. I'm not paying taxes anymore. Fuck this.
This is the response I'm looking for. You should be upset. She has every right to be upset. Our cost of healthcare is being driven up because people want to incorporate illegal immigrants who don't contribute to the taxes that is paid in the United States and us covering the bill, and they're going to hold the government up for that? That's ridiculous. You should be upset.
Everybody wants to be understood, but nobody wants to admit they misheard. We always talk about tone like it's the villain. You could have said it nicer.
Watch how you talk to me.
Nobody ever stops to ask, did I even hear that right? Or did I translate their words through how I felt in the moment? We are conditioned to center accountability around delivery, but never reception. So tone becomes the scapegoat. It's easier to critique someone's tone than to confront your own triggers. No one ever stops to say, hey, I might have just filtered what you said through how I'm currently feeling. But let me give you perspective. If someone speaks to you when you're in a specific emotional state, their words don't just get translated in that moment. They have to get filtered through everything you've ever felt in that same emotional state. So if you're angry, their words have to fight their way through every argument, betrayal, and every time previously you ever felt disrespected. So you never just hear what someone says, you feel it through your past. And depending on the day, they might be paying a price for something they never caused. So the next time you're focused on someone's tone, be honest and recognize your emotions had the last edit, not their words.
I'm big on tone policing, especially inside your relationship. I do not accept tone policing at no point in time because it gives the excuse that the truth that's being said doesn't have to be received if it's not said in the right tone, as if tone has precedence over truth. That's the result of primarily being raised by women.
Crazy about this generation now? Mm-hmm. These bitches actually call niggas tricks and don't consider themselves whores. Right? That's crazy, right?
I've never put the correlation together.
You have to, bro, it's a trick, is a pimping.
That's a fact, because they didn't convince the world that everybody has their own individual truths. My truth, your truth, so you could be a trick, but I don't have to be a hoe.
So Trump took funding from some minority programs and gave it to HBCUs. But not only that, he gave $500 million to HBCUs, and you motherfuckers still finding a reason to fucking complain. What the fuck y'all complaining about now? Now what y'all gonna say? He said, oh, he just doing to get black folks on his side. He don't give a fuck about that shit. He just felt like it'll be more useful at a HBCU. Guess what? He putting the money directly in the hands of other black people to succeed. And y'all motherfuckers still can't find a reason just to be great. Not just be grateful, but just give the man a pat on the damn bike. Just pat him on the bike and say, you know what? That's something good. That's something good. Y'all instead of letting these white liberals and these leftists, these extreme leftists dictate how the fuck you think and how you feel.
Yeah.
Y'all need to wake the fuck up. Y'all complaining. Oh, he shouldn't have did that. He gave it to the HBCUs. What the fuck do he need to do to make y'all bitches happy? Because at this point, it ain't shit he could do. It ain't shit he can do.
I'm not telling motherfuckers not to hate Donald Trump, but at least hate him for your own reason. Not hate him because somebody telling you to hate him. You gotta judge a man based off his actions, or else you just brainwashed and being a puppet for somebody else's agenda. That's what's happening. This a free man thinking and talking right now. This a free man thinking and talking right now.
Their behavior is telling you the truth. Mm-hmm. Their behavior is telling you what they care about and what their priorities are. And if their behavior is telling you that your needs are not a priority, you have to let them reveal that. Because
that's also what let them mean.
Yes, because then you're going to come back to the second part, which is let me ask myself, is this kind of behavior from somebody what I deserve? Is this what I'm willing to accept in somebody? Because again, what do we also know? People only change when they want to or they can. And you might be in a situation where somebody would really love to change, but they can't because they're dealing with some challenge right now, or they don't have the skill yet. And you may decide, if that's the case, to still love and accept the person.
Right.
But there may be times where you have had the conversation and it is very clear they're capable of it. They just won't do it.
Yeah.
And what I find in relationships where that sort of invisible distance and the frustration and the resentment comes up is twofold. Number one, you can't detach from your emotions and say, let them, and really fully just let the person be who they are. And you don't do the part, let me, where you actually take responsibility for expressing in a mature way what you need and how their behavior impacts you. And so if you don't ever express what you need and how it's impacting you, you're not actually giving somebody the opportunity to build a skill or to change or to love you the way that you need them to love you so that you feel loved. The second mistake that I see constantly is that you make the ask and then the person doesn't do it. And then you start making excuses and resentment builds. And you stay in something, seeing exactly who someone is, wishing they would change, living up here in your mind about the fantasy of what you wish this was, refusing to accept the reality of what it actually is.
Basing your perspective of people on their actions translates in so many ways. I was just saying it about, looking at the Republican Party and what they're doing and the actions that they're taking, and then comparing that to the Democratic Party, just on a political sense. But even in a relationship, if somebody shows you who they are, believe them. It's simple as that. And people are only gonna do what you allow.
Let's listen to my favorite politician, John Kennedy, break down why the government is shutting down. Check this out.
Well, Mr. President, it looks like we're going to have a shutdown. What does that tell us? I'll tell you what it tells me. It's simply that much more evidence that human evolution is a slow process. I thought humans had advanced more as a species, but apparently we haven't. What do I mean by a shutdown?
This nigga changed suits. I thought I was tripping.
Well, Mr. President, it looks like we're going to have a shutdown. What does that tell us? I'll tell you what it tells me.
I was tripping.
Simply that much more evidence that human evolution is a slow process. I thought humans had advanced more as a species, but apparently we haven't. What do I mean by a shutdown? Well, we can't keep government open without a budget. And tonight at midnight, our current budget expires unless we vote to maintain the status quo and continue the current budget as we negotiate a new one. Many of my Democratic friends say, well, what's the problem? The Republicans are in charge. The president's a Republican, and the Republicans have a majority in the Senate, and the Republicans have a majority in the House. What's the problem? They know what the problem is. We can't pass a budget. We can't keep government open just with Republican votes here in the Senate. We only have 53 Republicans. We need 7 Democrats to join with us. So for my Democratic colleagues to say, well, the Republicans are in charge and they don't need us, they know that's not accurate. And that's what's going on. Now, we've had a few shutdowns before, and every shutdown is different, but most shutdowns are a combination of both policy and politics in varying degrees. This shutdown, in terms of policy, makes absolutely no sense. None. What we have proposed to our Democratic colleagues and the minority leader, Senator Schumer, is to make no changes to the current budget. We just want to continue the current budget and keep government open until just before Thanksgiving to give us more time to negotiate a permanent budget. We did that many times when President Biden
do it all the time.
was president and when the Democrats had the majority. In fact, we did it 13 times. Not only have Republicans done it, but Democrats have routinely done it. But this time, the Democrats have said, no, 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 no. We want more. And you may be thinking, okay, that's reasonable. What do you want? Well, it's not reasonable. In effect, what the Democrats are saying to us is that we're going to close government unless you Republicans agree to make it bigger. We don't want the status quo. We want you to commit to spending $1.5 trillion, more than you're spending now. And we, the Democrats, are saying, are going to tell you how to spend it.
Wow.
There's this old saying that absolute power corrupts. So that's why we have these two-party systems, three-party systems, however you want to look at it. My recommendation to anybody that is paying attention to what's going on with the country, I would suggest you don't practice tribalism. And what I mean by that is, do not affiliate yourself solely with one party. You should look at them as two equals, two birds, two wings on the same bird, but align yourself with the one that aligns with you the most. And when it's time to switch sides, you switch on the motherfuckers ASAP.
PSA real quick, niggas don't give a fuck about how many degrees you got, how much money you making, how big your house is. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. Are you sweet? Are you kind? Are you gentle? Are you encouraging? Is the pussy hitting or not? Do you suck dick? Do you know when to shut the fuck up? That's what's important.
Not one lie told. Women are so self-absorbed that they honestly believe that just because they want a man who's successful in degrees and have money, that's what men want in them. When in fact, we want different things. So becoming a man don't attract men.
There's a difference between a good entrepreneur and a great one.
Somebody who gets up early, stays up late, works harder, doubles down, is hooked on excellence, not perfection, who is resilient, who never gives up, never gives in, who is absolutely obsessed with finishing the race and being a credit to their race. And if you do those things, and you have that attitude, you can't help but win.
That obsession part that he said, that's a big part of it, because you gotta live and breathe whatever it is that you're trying to be successful in. You can't half-ass, and you have to understand that you're competing for market share, no matter what it is. And you gotta remain consistent. And you gotta learn how to work with no motivation.
Everybody shut the fuck up. Hey, shut the fuck up. Let me tell you something right now.
If you made it this far, check out the video we did talking about SNAP in 2025, where they coming down with the food stamp cuts and fraud crackdowns. Check it out.